Hello, boys and girls. This is your old friend, the Dreamfinder, here to set off on another grand circle tour of the Magic Kingdom.
The Disneyland Limited, now leaving for a grand circle tour of the Magic Kingdom. All passengers board.
Star Tours announces the boarding of the Endor Express. All passengers, please prepare for immediate boarding.
Please stand clear of the doors. Por favor, manténganse alejado de las puertas. To those guests who've just joined us, welcome. For those of you standing, please hold on to the handrails throughout our journey and stay clear of the doors.
Please keep your hands, arms, and legs inside the train and remain seated at all times. Now then, hang on to them hats and glasses, because this here's the wildest ride in the wilderness.
I am Sam, the American Eagle, and I am proud to introduce the Grand Circle Tour podcast, a celebration of Disney parks, but mostly the American ones. I really like these guys.
Hey gang, welcome to another exciting adventure of the Grand Circle Tour podcast. I'll be your host today, Captain Stan Solo, and I'm sitting in the pilot's chair this afternoon. And we have a very special guest, but before we get to her, I'm going to introduce you to my two favorite podcast hosts. We'll go ladies first. Caroline, welcome aboard, and how are you today?
Hey, Stan, you crack me up, and I'm doing very well. Thank you.
That's my goal, is to crack you up every week when we're together. And also with us, we have Dan. Dan from New York. Dan, how are you doing?
What's going on, Stan? Long time, man. How you been?
It's been a long time. It feels like it's been forever since I've been on here. And it's great to be back in the pilot seat of all places. And we have a good friend of mine that I met online quite a while ago, and we got to meet in person at the Winnipeg Disney Club meetup thing. And actually, we met before that because she was so nice enough to pick me up some grocery bags or some reusable bags from the Disney Cruise Line. And that was like kind of the first time we met in Sobeys in Winnipeg. Lisa, welcome aboard, and how are you?
Thank you. I am great.
We're happy to have you here. Now, we're doing a bit of a different show today. Lisa's going on a trip to Walt Disney World next month, and we're recording today to find out what her plans are on this magical journey to the Magic Kingdom. And we're going to pause recording. She's going to go on her trip. She'll come back, and we'll find out how she made out. Did she follow her plans? Did she change her plans? What worked? What didn't work? Should she have used a travel agent, or is she happy she went on her own? We're going to find out at the second part of this show, but let's start off with the first part. Dan, take it away.
So, Lisa, just for the passengers out there, Lisa and I have never met, so I really don't know anything about this trip. So, Lisa, I figured I'd start with some of the basics. So, Stan said you're from Winnipeg, correct?
Yes, I am.
And I'm assuming that means you're flying to Walt Disney World.
It does. And this time I'm actually flying out of Winnipeg.
Okay. Into MCO?
This time I'm actually flying into Tampa, and I'm meeting friends there. Usually I would fly into Orlando.
Okay. And are you renting a car from Tampa? Is that right?
No, my friends who live in Brandon will pick me up.
Very cool. That's awesome. So how many friends are going? It's you and how many other people?
Another couple.
Great. And my favorite question I ask all of my friends when I hear that they're going to Walt Disney World is, where are you staying?
For the first few days, we're going to stay at Kidani Village. And it so happened that something came up in my family, and so our plans have totally changed. The couple that I'm going with, they're going to go back home, and then I'm going to be staying alone for my first time ever at Disney World. Yes.
First time solo trip.
Absolutely.
Stan loves the solo trips.
I love the solo trip.
I hope that I'm going to love it.
So are you changing resorts from Kidani to somewhere else at that point, or are you going to stay at Kidani?
I am going to change resorts. Now, I am also a DVC member, so usually I stay at DVC resorts, but this time I thought I would change it up and stay at Coronado Springs.
All right. And that's the first time you're ever staying there?
We stayed there years and years ago, but this will be my first time in a long time.
So it sounds like you go often then.
We do go often. Yes.
How many times have you been to Disney World? Approximately.
In total?
Yeah.
Wow.
A lot? That's too many to count?
Probably at least 50 at least.
Wow.
Yes, we're very blessed.
Be asking us these questions.
Well, you know what? Every trip is different, right?
That's definitely for sure.
Yeah.
So are you the type of vacationer that likes to plan a lot, or do you just wing it?
The first few times I started going back and bringing my kids, I didn't plan the first few times. And I don't want to say they were disasters, but we wished we had booked through a travel agent because we had to go from restaurant to restaurant trying to find a reservation.
Mm.
We missed a lot of the really good things you want to see at Disney, especially if you're not going to be going all the time. Those trips are really important to plan for. So the first few times again we went, we did plan, but now because we've pretty much done everything, I love to just wing it. This trip is very different. I'm usually the planner, the booker, I do all of it. But this time, the first part of the trip when I'm not alone, my friends have planned it. So I'm just along for the ride at that point.
So
this is interesting.
Yeah, I was going to say, are you the type that's able to let up on the reins a little bit?
Absolutely.
All right.
I prefer to, because at work, I have to make all of the decisions. So it's kind of going to be a really nice vacation for me because I can do what I want. The second part of it. And then the first part, I just have to follow other people.
Yeah, that actually sounds pretty awesome. So Stan and myself, we are, I think, complete opposites, right, Stan, in the way we plan. Because Stan is very much,
willy-nilly.
He'll wait at the bus stop, and whatever bus comes first, that's where he's going for the day. Where I have my spreadsheet, and I have to be at different places at different times. And I kind of envy Stan a little bit at times. Wish I was like that.
That is funny. The first few times we went, I did that, but it caused all of us quite a bit of stress.
Sure.
So now when we go, and especially when we take our kids, I mean, they're adults now, and we're going in December and we're bringing all of them, we do not plan. We plan a few meals together. And then if somebody requests a certain restaurant or to go on certain rides, I'll usually be the one that goes on first thing in the morning and gets, those reservations and fast passes. But other than that, we just have so much fun when we go and just see what Disney has to offer us.
So speaking of that, do you guys have dinner reservations and fast passes booked?
We do. My friends booked a couple of places to eat at, and they have booked the fast passes, which are kind of funny because they're the opposite of what we would usually book for fast passes. They have all the kind of slow rides, safari, Soarin', dinosaur, Star Tours, those kinds of things. Whereas when I'm going myself, when they leave, I've booked Big Thunder Mountain, and I'm hoping to do Seven Dwarfs, Flight of Passage. Of course, those are already booked, but I'm hoping that one morning I'll just get lucky and be able to go on those ones.
What reservations do you have for dining?
My friends have booked Via Napoli, which I'm really happy about. They have also booked Maria and Enzo's in downtown Disney Springs, it's now called, and I haven't been there, so I'm excited to try that one.
Okay,
I'm just gonna wing it when we go, like when they leave. I'll just wing it and see what I come up with and what I would like to do on any given day.
That's a great plan for a solo traveler. Do you have any new experiences planned for this vacation?
I was telling my husband that I was thinking of booking Keys to the Kingdom. I have not done that one yet. And I think it might be kind of nice to go in a group because, like I said, I haven't done a solo trip before, so I'm not sure how I'll handle that.
I've done the Keys to the Kingdom as a solo traveler, and I have to say I really enjoyed going as a solo traveler because I could actually focus on the tour guide and not have to worry about having my wife or having my kids or having somebody with me that I have to talk to them. Also, I could really listen to what the tour guide's saying and focus all my energy and time on them. And when dining time came, because I was a solo traveler, I got to sit with the cast member for dinner, for lunch, because lunch is included. And that was a great experience too, because I got to bounce questions off of them as much as I wanted while we were having lunch. Not guaranteeing that you're going to be able to sit with your cast member, but I was lucky enough because everyone else was couples. They put couples together, and then the solo person got to sit with the cast member. So it was great for me. I really enjoyed going doing the Keys to the Kingdom as a solo traveler. Sure. So
awesome.
If you're
yeah, that kind of makes me definitely want to do it. Oh, that's true. I never thought of that.
You don't have to pay for two
That's
people.
A really good point. Maybe I'll have to do more solo trips. I don't think my husband would be happy about that, though.
Oh, that's great. We're going to pause here. We're going to take a short break, and we're going to come back in the future when Lisa's done her trip, and we're going to find out how her plans went. So we'll be right back after this break.
So, you want to hear more about our Disney Resort hotels? Well, you came to the right place. You won't believe all the magical benefits you get.
With more than 20 fun hotels, you get to pick your theme. You'll find the one that's perfect for your perfect Disney dream. We'll get you so excited that you'll never want to leave. The list of things to see and do is too much to believe. It's true. When you're staying at a Disney Resort hotel, the fun never ends. There are water sports, all kinds and sorts that fill the 7 seas. Restaurants for bon vivants, such fine amenities. Since your resort hotel can be so near a Disney park, you could play all day with Mickey and see fireworks at dark. You want to spend even more time in a Disney theme park? Well, listen to this. Stay right here with us and then you'll get some magic powers. Extra time inside the parks, we call it extra magic hours. These extra magic hours happen every single day. It's all complimentary, an extra thank you for your stay.
And welcome back. That was a really quick trip. And I'm guessing, Lisa, it was even quicker for you that you're back home already now and you had done your trip. Now, very, very brief, how was it?
It was awesome. And so you know that I did a split stay, one at Kidani for the first few days, and then one at Port Orleans Riverside. And I actually got pixie dusted at Riverside. So.
Okay, we'll get into that. Now, Riverside is a bit different because I thought you were going to be going to Coronado Springs. Did you switch since we chatted with you?
I did switch.
There you go. That happens. That's why we're doing a show like this, to see what the original plan was and what ended up happening. Now,
yeah, they had a lot of construction going on there at Coronado. Mm-hmm. So I decided I really like Riverside, and I hadn't been there in a few years, so I decided to switch it to that.
Nice. You know what? Riverside's my absolute favorite resort that I can afford. Or, well, I can't anymore, but I used to be able to afford. The Canadian dollar, it's hard. It's hard.
I know, it is.
Now, you flew into Tampa this time instead of MCO, Orlando. How was that any different for you? I'm guessing your friends picked you up?
My friends picked me up. It was really quick because you get off the plane, you get on like the monorail thing, just like at MCO, and they're waiting for me. Normally, my friends said it usually take that long, so that was just a one-off, I guess. But it was easy to get out of there. The traffic was not nearly as much as it usually is at MCO, so it was good.
So on this one, you flew into Tampa Bay rather than into Orlando, which is something different, which you normally would do. How did that work out for you?
That trip going into Tampa was a lot quicker, getting out of the airport, getting to see my friends, and getting to baggage. Although baggage did take a long time, my friends say that usually it's immediate. So that was a one-off. But it wasn't nearly as busy as MCO.
Yeah, MCO gets really busy. Dan?
So, Lisa, you said that you went with your friends and you spent the first part of the trip with them, right, at Kidani?
Yes.
And how was that?
It's always good. We didn't stay in a Savannah room view this time. Usually we do. And the room was fairly close to the elevators. As some of you know, they can be really far, which doesn't bother me, but my friend, the lady has a bit of a knee issue, so that was a little bit difficult on her, but no, it was great. The weather was great. The staff were great.
How long were you at Kidani for? How many nights?
How long was I there for? I was there for 3 nights.
Okay.
And then I switched over to Port Orleans Riverside.
And when did you decide to make the change to Port Orleans? Was it during your trip?
It was just before my trip. My friends were only staying there for 3 days. Then I was supposed to go back to their house and stay with them for the rest of the trip. But it ended up that I had another commitment that I had to make. And so I ended up just staying at Disney, which was such a hardship, as you all know.
Oh, so tough.
Then you talked about that your friends made the dining reservations. I don't think you quite told us where you were going to be going. Caroline, do you want to ask about that?
Yeah, I wanted to know about when you were by yourself, where you ended up eating, and how was that?
Well, I ended up not being by myself. This trip is full of many things that happened that weren't supposed to happen. A friend of mine, a colleague actually, really wanted to get away, and we had invited them to stay with us in January at Kidani. And so obviously they are now hooked. Her husband was so against Disney, then he came with us, and now that's all he talks about. So she asked me if she could come the second part of the trip and bring her daughter, who didn't come the first time. And so I agreed to let them come with me. So again, I wasn't at Disney alone. Someday.
Someday. Next time.
Maybe.
Well, you're never truly alone when you're in Disney, right?
A truer statement has not been said, I'm sure.
So when you're with your friends, where did you end up dining? You had the dining reservations booked. You never did tell us.
Okay, so at the first part of the trip, the notable one was we went to Maria and Enzo's.
That's right. Sorry, that's right. You did tell us you were going to go there.
Okay. We thought we'd be in this dining room where you can see the water and all that. It ended up they took us behind into another area, saying something about it being, I don't know if it was DVC or what. I wasn't really paying attention. And they brought us back there, said it was this special dining room, and proceeded to give us free Prosecco and I think that they gave us an appetizer to start with as well. There was a bread service, and I can't remember, but there was an appetizer that they gave us to start, and then we ordered. And the food, I have to tell you, was phenomenal. I had been to Rome last October, and I have to say it was comparable to the food in Rome.
Wow.
Yeah, so if you get a chance to go there, absolutely go. The service was impeccable. I don't drink, but the Prosecco was really good. Yeah, even my friends there, they loved their meals.
Yeah, I went there for lunch once, and I was very impressed. I have to say, the portion sizes were good for lunch, and with the annual pass discount, it was, I can't remember what it was, but it was way more than the normal annual pass discount. And that promotion goes to the end of this year. I'm hoping they carry it over to next year because I wouldn't mind going there again for lunch.
Yeah, it was really good.
What other restaurants did you go to?
I'm terrible with remembering where I go to eat. I'm probably one of the few that you would look at me and think that food was a big deal, but it isn't really. We went to, we did a quick serve at Hollywood Studios, and the food there was even really good. And
So it wasn't Pizza Rizzo's then?
no.
I like pizza Rizzo's.
I know Dan always ends up there.
I don't think I've been there, but everywhere we went for food was really good. It wasn't, flavorless and run of the mill. It was really good.
Mm-hmm. So you went from Kidani Village to Port Orleans Riverside. How did you get from one to the other? Did you Uber it, take a taxi, minivan? What did you do?
My friends drove me there because my room ended up being ready early.
Nice.
Yeah, it was very nice. And when I got there, the lady said, "Oh, you're in the what do you call it? The royal suite."
Nice.
And I said, I know, and I said, "Well, I booked a garden view." She said, "Well, it's your lucky day.
Wow.
You're in a royal suite." And it was so funny because that evening I messaged my sister and I was FaceTiming with her, and I held the iPad up on the head, and my sister still talks about that. There was a function for her that I had to go to right after leaving Disney. And of course, it's a room full of people, and she's telling them all about this headboard. And it was a little bit embarrassing, but it was very cool.
Yeah, those royal suites are really nice.
Yeah, it was. My
Just
friends
for our
really
listeners,
got a
they're
kick
not
out of it, too.
suites. They're just regular hotel rooms that are all fixed up. With special headboard and art and the fixtures in the bathroom. So just for our listeners, just so you know that they're regular hotel rooms.
Yes, there's no living room or anything else, but they call it a suite, and but it is nice. The touches are nice.
Yeah, and it's in the mansion part of Riverside. And did you run around the room looking for all the little hidden gems like carpet and the Aladdin's faucets as soon as you got in?
I actually did. Usually I'm not into that, but I thought this is really cute. The faucets were my absolute favorite, though.
Yeah, those are cute. I'd like to get those for my own bathroom.
No kidding.
And did you end up going to Vita Napoli? That was the other one that you were talking about. Had booked.
We did. Thank you for reminding me. We did go there. That was the night that we did the Moonlight Magic.
Okay.
So the way my friend had booked the reservation, was, I think our reservation was at 5:45, and then we would have Moonlight Magic. Well, I don't know if you've been to those, but they give you a ticket for a free meal and ice cream and all this other stuff. So I kind of played it safe because I thought I'm going to be way too full for all this stuff. And
well, yeah, you want
I
to get your
ended up,
free Mickey bar in there.
well, I'm not a Mickey bar fan. I like the
Oh, well.
sandwich. So I
Okay, well,
get
this is over.
See, if we go there, you can have mine. I get the fruit bar, and I had a
Okay.
salad at Via Napoli. We sat right by the kitchen where they do all the putting together of the meals and stuff. So that was nice. And we had a really good server. The salad was fantastic. And we still ended up not having the meal at Moonlight Magic because I was still just too full.
So they had a meal at the Epcot Moonlight Magic? I never knew about that. I've only heard of the Magic Kingdom ones where you get like the popcorn and the desserts. They actually have, like, where would the meal be?
That's, I think maybe you're thinking of the extra hours, right?
Yes, I'm getting mixed up. Okay, yes, the
Yeah.
Moonlight Magic. I've done the Moonlight Magic at Animal Kingdom, and yeah, there wasn't a meal at all. There was like Mickey bars and they had the they have the games in Dino Land. You got to
Mhm.
pay a couple of games free.
Yes.
You could win a
When
prize.
did you do that?
It was about a year ago, I'm guessing. I'm thinking last October.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did the Animal
We
Kingdom.
go to a lot of them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we ticket for a free. Kingdom was the craziest though because they gave you, I think there was Liberty Tree Tavern. There was like 3 restaurants, and you could go in and choose whatever you wanted.
You know what? You're right. The I did do the Magic Kingdom one as well, and they had hot dogs at Casey's, and
that's right.
Yes, and they had at Pinocchio Village House, they had some chicken nuggets and stuff like that you could get. I forgot about that. Jeez,
Yeah.
I don't forget about food ever.
And I have a hard time remembering about it, so there you go.
Yeah, DVC Moonlight Magic. If you're a DVC member, you get an opportunity to do those. You take it. Those are great. I just love those Moonlight Magic events.
Absolutely. And I don't know if you know, but they've changed it. Before, when we would go online, we could get up to 6 tickets. Now we can get up to 4. And because I was in the room with my friends, they could get 4, but I wasn't allowed to get any. But of course, they got one for me. So.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Now, you were talking before you originally were going to go solo. You were thinking about doing the Keys to the Kingdom tour. I'm guessing now that you're with your friend and her daughter, you ended up not doing the Keys to the Kingdom tour?
I did not do any tours like that, but we did end up doing what I thought you were talking about originally was the Disney After Hours, and we did that at Magic Kingdom.
And how was that?
That was awesome. I would recommend it to anybody. It is worth the extra money. You don't wait to get on the rides. You can go on as many times as you want. They have select drinks, free popcorn, and also your favorite stand, Mickey bars. And you can go to the carts and just get them. That was awesome, even though they limit the ticket numbers, and I'm not positive how many they limit it to. Maybe Carolyn, being a travel agent, would know. I don't remember, but it was awesome. It was definitely worth the extra money.
And I believe the one that's going on currently is the Villains events that they have now for the extra magic hours. And those look like it basically looks like the Halloween party, but in June.
That's what I was thinking. Yes.
And without the trick-or-treating.
Yeah.
And the dressing up.
I got to get to one of these parties. I feel like I'm the only one who hasn't been to one of these. And I'm also a DVC member, but it just never works out for me on my trips. They seem amazing.
They're awesome.
And Caroline, have you ever been to any of the extra magic parties? Or
Yes, I've been to most all of them.
And they're well worth it, you agree?
That just depends on your budget. And my best tip is, and everybody doesn't love my tip except when they follow it, and then they love it. I always recommend do not purchase those tickets ahead of time because, one, if it sells out, you don't want to be there. It's miserable. And two, if the weather's bad, you don't want to be there. So it is worth it to me that if you want to go to one of those after-hour parties, to purchase your ticket the day of the event there. That's my best tip. The other thing is that if it's at the Magic Kingdom, you can get into the Magic Kingdom at 4 p.m. So don't go to them. Don't waste your ticket day. If you bought your hopper ticket or your base ticket, go to a different park that day because you can get into the Magic Kingdom at 4 p.m. even though the party doesn't start until later.
Those are excellent tips. And I didn't take your advice last time when you told me that, but I was peer pressured into getting my ticket earlier.
I know. And it worked out for you.
It ended up okay because it wasn't sold out and it didn't rain. So.
Right. It's a gamble you take because if it had been sold out and it had rained,
it wouldn't have been nearly as fun.
Exactly.
That is a good tip.
I think those are great tips.
It is. We bought ours just before. We decided at the last minute to go, and you're right. It wasn't very busy. It made a huge difference.
It's too expensive to go when it's so busy, and I think, and people like to go because they get to go on the attractions a lot more often, many more times than during the regular park day. So that's a real advantage. And if it's just crazy busy, it won't be that much fun.
Agreed.
It's too expensive.
And I want to publicly thank Lisa for something that she did for me while she was at Disney World. I was watching a YouTube video, and I like watching the Character Warehouse YouTube videos. And if you're not familiar with the Character Warehouse, it's discontinued Disney merchandise that's at the outlet malls. There's 2 of them in Orlando. And I like watching these YouTube videos where they show the prices and what's happening. And there was one that was posted that was like the day before I was watching it. And they had Orange Bird ties for $10. And I think they were, Lisa, do you remember what the original price was on them?
No, I don't recall. I think it's on there though.
Yeah, I think it was like around 30, somewhere around there. And I nearly bought it because I'm an Orange Bird fanatic. And I nearly bought the tie when I was at Disney World last time. And I went, it's kind of expensive and I'm going to wear it at work and it might get a tear or a stain. So I ended up not getting it. So they had the Orange Bird tie. Somebody was showing it. It was available at Walt Disney World, or at the Character Warehouse rather. So I knew Lisa was in Orlando at the time. So I messaged her and I said, hey, Lisa, by any chance are you going to the Character Warehouse to the outlet mall? And she messages me back like right away. And she says, as a matter of fact, I'm here right now. I couldn't believe it when she said, "No, were you at the same outlet mall, or did you have to go to a different outlet mall?" You said you were at an outlet mall. We were at the.
Well, they both have Disney stores at both of those outlets, but I was actually in the process of walking to the one you were talking about when you messaged me, so it was very apropos.
Yeah, it was like the timing was unbelievable. I said, yeah, there's an Orange Bird tie there. Someone posted it yesterday. If you get it, would you mind picking it up for me? I'll pay you back. So Lisa messages me back and she sends me a picture, and there's 3 ties. The Mickey Mouse one that I nearly bought as well, the Orange Bird tie, and a Captain America tie, which I just loved. She says, which one did you want? And I'm like, buy all 3. I'll get them all for $10 each for sure. So I still have to get them from her. But Lisa, just thank you so much for doing that for me. I was so giddy when I saw that, and I'm trying to think, how am I going to get these ties?
Well, you're welcome. It's no problem.
Yeah, that just really made my day. So, did you have anything else you wanted to add before we wrap this up?
No, I think though that when my friends joined me, it was nice, but it's kind of tough because, of course, that was only their second time. I ended up being a tour guide, which happens a lot of times. So just a cautionary note to people: if you don't want to be a tour guide, then contact a travel agent for the people that want to go and let them go in that direction, because I've seen everything. I've done everything. So I would have done some tours on my own, but I was the tour guide. So, and not that I didn't enjoy it with my friends. It's nice when they're all excited and see all the different things. But one day I will go by myself.
Questions or anything to add?
So, what can you give us a rating of this this trip? Give us a 1 to 10 rating.
This trip, I would say, would have been a 9.
Okay.
Because the
Good.
room was right by the pool, which I loved. I took Uber for the first time. Usually I rely on my poor husband to drive everywhere. And so I did take Uber a couple of times, which was awesome. Each time the person who came to pick us up was really nice and professional. And my friend was a little worried about that, but after the first trip, she was hooked.
Awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a big component of Uber as well.
Yeah, so am I. No, I was going to say the same thing. Uber's the way to go now.
Yes.
So there you have it. You may have your trip all planned. You may think you know where you're going. You may think you're going by yourself. Or you're going with a large group, and last minute changes happen, and you have to go with the flow when you're on these type of trips. And that's what this kind of show is about. And you know what? Disney has its little pixie dust magic. You never know what you're going to get. Don't go out asking for extra magic, but if it comes your way, be grateful and be happy for it. And you know what? This sounds like a fun trip. The other thing too, I just want to quickly, I often say to people, if you're traveling like two couples, or I mean, like Lisa was with two friends, so that's fine to be together in that type of scenario, I think. But if you're two couples going, or if you're two families going, try not to stay together the whole time, because that's going to make for a miserable trip. Split up, plan your dinner reservations together, meet up for dinner, and then you have something to talk about how your day went. I always tell people, don't go plan every minute of every day together if you're doing a large group. But anyways, thank you so much, Lisa, for joining us. It was great to have you on.
You're welcome.
And Ken, take it away.
If you would like to keep the adventure going after the show, be sure to like our Facebook friends page, Grand Circle Tour Magical Ticket Holders. While on Facebook, like our group page, Grand Circle Tour. Be sure to follow us on Twitter, Grand Circle Tour Podcast, as well as Instagram, GCT Podcast, and our YouTube channel, Grand Circle Tour. If you would like to send us a message, you can email us at gctpodcast@gmail.com. T-shirts and other fun merchandise can be found at tpublic.com. Simply search Grand Circle Tour Podcast. If you enjoyed your adventure, leave us a review on Apple Podcast. Only one rule, make it good. Thank you for riding with us, and welcome home.
Buckle up! I can't seem to do anything with it. Herbie, that superstar car is back and unpredictable as ever. Look out! For the joyride of your life, he's the little bug, full of high-speed hijinks, with a mind of his own. Yes! The Love Bug, from Walt Disney. Herbie takes gas from nobody.